So if you liked pin art, you're going to like particle array. Particle array is like pin art, except it is a 3D generator. It generates a 3D array of particles and offers several interesting ways of manipulating the array based on graph controls or alternate AE layers, and fractal noise patterns, random dispersion, and more. Like pin art, particle array supports AE lights and camera for simple integration into AE 3D compositions. The filter also includes an integrated beat reactor for creating dynamic animations directly influenced by audio layers. And this filter, like pin art, is also OpenGL enabled for really fast previews and renders. Another fun filter that is just a blast to mess around with and create some really cool graphics with. Okay, we're getting near the end here. Next is the BCC warp filter. Now the warp filter allows you to generate static and animated image warps based on AE spline shapes. So here I've got some footage of a bridge, which I generated a kind of rough winds effect on it here. And I did that by just creating a few masks, actually just 2 masks really. And I animated the path of the mask to simulate like a wobbly bridge. Created this boundary mask on the top of the other 2, and then I just applied warp, and that was it. So really the only work you have to do here is to create masks in AE. The filter does the rest. And you can also adjust how sensitive the warping is. For example, if I turn on this warp grid feature, and I can change the sensitivity here and the accuracy, so I can make a really fine-tuned warp effect, or if accuracy isn't that important, I can get more of a global warp effect. Now this does contrast with the AE warp filter, which doesn't give you these fine controls. Another advantage to the BCC warp filter is that it's OpenGL enabled, which means it's really fast because it works off your graphics card and not your CPU. You can see how quick the filter updates here. Moving on, the next filter I want to show you is BCC MORPH. The MORPH filter lets you transform or morph one still image into another. Like the warp filter, this filter is OpenGL enabled for speedy working time and previews, and it requires the use of AE masks. And you can see here that we've created quite a few masks to turn our lovely lady into this lovely lady. And once you create the masks, you only have to keyframe the start and end of the whole transition in the filter UI. So really, it's easy to use if you are accustomed to creating masks in AE. Now, what if you want to do a morph effect, but you want to use it with video? Well, you're in luck, because the last filter is BCC Video Morph. This handsome devil you see here is none other than yours truly, but even I can't stare at my own face all day, so let's turn me into someone else. Let's turn me into my coworker here. Okay, so we're going to morph me into my friend, and the way we do that is the same way we did the other morph filter, by creating splines. Lots of AE splines depending on how precise you want the morph to be. And once you create those, it's actually really easy to use the filter. You just apply it and animate the global warp and global percent parameters. You can even use the opacity and expansion parameters on each mask if you want to do it manually. But why would you want to do that? We make it so much easier for you. So once you've done that, you just render the result and you have your morph effect. I do want to point out that it was one of my coworkers who created this project. I guess they just couldn't wait to turn my face into something else. That's not my face. But anyway, the important thing is the effect looks good, and it's another fun, fast OpenGL accelerated filter. So there you have the new filters in BCC 7. But of course, there's a lot more you can do with each and every one of them, so don't think this is all there is to it. You can expand and use these filters in ways probably even I can't imagine. So if you liked what you saw here and you want to learn more, visit our website where you can download a free trial version of Boris Continuum Complete 6, still out there and still a good product in its own right. And that's all at borisfx.com.